Oh, don't do it. Don't become the anti-dog party. What else are you trying to oppose here? My gosh. This is political suicide. Headline piece here from The Guardian. Bad news for man's best friend. Dogs are environmental villains. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Yep. This is going to be a tough one for many to handle across the political aisle. All right? But there is a major hypocrisy going on here with those on the left side as well with this story that I'll get to momentarily. The article goes on to note that dogs have extensive and multifarious environmental impacts, disturbing wildlife, polluting waterways, and contributing to carbon emissions, according to new research. Yes, they're going after your dog. You thought it was bad enough when they were going after the cows farting, right, and their carbon emissions. You thought that was ludicrous. Now they're going after Skippy over there, okay? That's what they're coming for next. You will be lonely, and you will rely on the government, and you will never know happiness because the one thing you had left after they encouraged you to not get married and not have children was your dog or your cat. Now they're saying, well, even old Skippy's got to go, John.
Now I can't even pile on by saying thanks for hating puppies
because
it's a legitimate thing.
It's a legitimate thing.
Used to be just to pile on, right? But no.
Not anymore. The review published in the journal Pacific Conservation Biology highlighted the impact of dogs in killing and disturbing native wildlife, particularly shorebirds. They go on the note here that in Australia, attacks by unrestrained dogs on little penguins in Tasmania. I'm not kidding, man.
The dingo ate my baby.
May contribute to colony collapse, modeling suggests. Well, a study of animals taken to the Australian Zoo Wildlife Hospital found that mortality was highest after dog attacks. Well, yeah, because there's more dogs probably out there. In the U.S., studies have found that deer, foxes, and bobcats were less active in or avoided wilderness areas where dogs were allowed. You mean like neighborhoods?
Settled science?
Yeah. What is this even? This is the stupidest thing I've ever read. But think about this, right? Because you know who this is geared towards. This is not geared towards those who are conservative or even independent or even left to center. This is geared towards people who are way out there on the far left who are like, wait, oh my gosh, my dog is contributing to climate change? Oh my goodness. Right now, Democrats have a 21% approval rating, and apparently they're trying to figure out how to drive it to negative 21% as quickly as they can. You know what? How about this? We hate dogs too while we're at it.
Yeah.
Genius.
They all need licenses.
Yeah. Oh, man. They go on the note here, the carbon footprint of pets is also significant. A 2020 study found the dry pet food industry has an environmental footprint of around twice the land area of the UK.
And?
Yeah, I know.
That's almost as big as the Central Time Zone.
Yeah. The review led the author to say the research was not intended to be censorious, but aimed to raise awareness of the environmental impacts of man's best friend. Wow.
Here was me thinking a lot of dog food's grain, and so when you raise grain, who's to say who it's for? It's just for sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can go on and on with this piece, and there's a couple other things I do want to highlight in this. But the broader conversation here is one to have around how many on the super progressive side of the aisle have pushed this cultural movement away from family, away from getting married and having children, right? I mean, you look at the breakdown, and that's just been objectively true over the last 20, 25 years. There's been arguments that you can't have children or you should not have children because they are not good for the environment. They're a real strain on the carbon footprint that you will be adding to the world. And, oh, man, you don't want to be the reason for climate change with those pesky little critters running around your house now, do you?
America used to be summed up as mom, apple pie, and Chevrolets, right? And we've got mom as a birthing person. We've attacked that. We've gotten onto the Chevrolets. We need to make them all electric now. They're coming for the apple pie, Pete.
Oh, they are. That's next. So we went from don't have kids, just have pets because that's the environmentally friendly thing to do, to now no dogs, no cats. You will be alone, and you will rely on the government, and you will have a little, 800 square foot, maybe, probably more like 500 square foot apartment. You will own nothing, and you will be happy, and you can't even have a dog sitting next to you on the couch. That's now where this thing is trending. And it kind of reminds me of where we've gone when it comes to supporting women, right? A few years ago, it was all about, believing women, Brett Kavanaugh, and that whole nonsense. When he
Harvey and all of them.
Yeah, on the Supreme Court. And then it was like, well, women's rights don't matter because we got to worry about trans women. So now we can have men and women's sports, and, they can play whatever sport they want. They can spike a volleyball into a young girl's face. And if you're like, hey, that's wrong. We got a transphobe on our hands here. We got a hater. That's right. So they swung the pendulum from literally believe anything a woman says, which is also wrong. You don't believe somebody because of their gender. You believe them because they're factually correct. That was also insane. You don't believe somebody because of their gender. You believe them when they're right. To now, if you believe that a man should not compete against a woman in sports, you're fill in the blank, a phobe. So now they don't believe all women, unless the women say what they want them to believe. And now in the family structure, it's don't get married, don't have kids, that's not good for you. Just have Skippy. Skippy will make you happy, and you'll be good as a dog parent, right? I'm a dog mom. I'm a dog dad. Now, come on, stop. You're a pet owner, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a pet owner, too. We found Woody, who's now, he's like 13 years old here coming up. 13-year-old Havanese under our car at 5:30 in the morning in Woodward, Oklahoma. Right outside of the apartment complex we were living in for my first radio job. He's named Woody after the town, Woodward. And he was a stray. He was all beat up. He was in bad shape. He was we don't really know how old he is, but he was a few months old, give or take. And 13 years later, he's doing great. We love him. I love him. But I'll tell you right now, as much as I love that dog, once you have kids, you realize that the love for your pet is not nearly what it is for your children. Doesn't mean you don't love your pet. You just don't realize how much love you can have for another person until it's your children. And hopefully your spouse is in there as well. But you get the point. When you make those children, it's a completely different level of love. It's a different kind of love that a pet cannot come close to supplanting. And people that have done both obviously acknowledge that and realize that. But now you want to take the pets away. Now there's going to be a movement to potentially say, you know what? Just be alone. It's okay. It's not like they're saying, hey, have kids to replace the pet, because the kids, they ruin your carbon footprint as well. Just have nothing. Just have a couple friends. Like, what, come on, you'll be fine. Just sit on your phone, be a mindless lemming, and talk to people through the screen. And then the government wins, big tech wins, and frankly, probably the globalists in large part win. There you go. 913-408-7957. That is the text line and the studio line on a Tuesday morning on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM and streaming on the KCMO Talk Radio app. Here's how this piece ends. That was headlined, Bad News for Man's Best Friend. Dogs are environmental villains. It ends like this. In the review, researchers attributed the extent of the environmental impacts to the sheer number of dogs globally. A simple way to mitigate against the worst impacts was to keep dogs leashed in areas where restrictions apply and to maintain a buffer distance from nesting or roosting shorebirds. So when you bump into that next roosting shorebird, Make sure you keep your dog on a leash for that. But notice what they give away there. They give away the main problem in their eyes. There are too many dogs. Population control. Anybody? Ding, 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 ding. We've got a winner. Yep. Population control. You think that's like too much? Fear-mongering? They literally said the quiet part out loud. There are too many dogs on the planet. You must not own one. You cannot be happy because it might impact your carbon footprint. And to that I say, I may get Woody a brother today. Who knows? Not sure if he's going to be happy with that. You know, he's already got 3 sisters that he's got to deal with on the human side. I'm not sure he wants another dog to fight over time with, but I just might have to do it so that these losers can pound sand.